Guess what, guys? Story time! Yay! It is story time, and if you're wondering what story time is, I decided to tell you guys a bunch of random stories just for the hell of it, because you know what? I need to waste time while I try to find out how to get my video game stuff working. So yeah, story number 1 has to do with illegal drugs. Yes, and no, it is not me doing illegal drugs, but you will see in a moment. So story 1, I'm at the park by my house, right? And this park is crazy. It's right down the street, and what it is it's this little square, right? And there's a big building. So there's the building, and right next to the building is a basketball court. And then past that's like the stupid little kids park where, you know, you dumb teenagers decide to do backflips off of stuff and break their faces. But anyways, that's kind of the park, and what's going on, me and my friend are playing basketball, right? We're just goofing off doing whatever. Well, I'm a fat white boy, alright? I'm not like fat, obviously, but I at that time I was even bigger. I was like, 220 and getting bigger. So I'm this little fat boy, white boy running around, and I decided to take a great shot from half court because I'm an idiot. So I shoot the basket, and it goes from half court, and it bounces off the rim and lands on top of the roof of this like shack, right? It's like a chalet for the winter and stuff. So, at this point I'm worried. I'm like, oh, well, this isn't good. I accidentally lost our basketball. And my friend, who's the athletic one, is too lazy to go get it. He's like, yeah, well, you lost it, so you gotta go get it. And I'm like, fine, I'll go get it. Well, this roof is about 15 feet off the ground, so I can't, jump up to it, obviously. So we end up going over and we grab a table, right? We grab, a picnic table, and we drag it all the way over. It's, across the street. So, this is a good long drag, and we're all heavy. It's all heavy. But we get there, and we decide to get up there and grab the basketball. So, he gets me up, and we're standing on this table, and he boosts me up, and I get on top of the roof. Well, when I get up there, there's the basketball right in this first little square, right? What it is, the roof, it has, a crossbar. It's kind of like that on the roof, and I'm in this square, right? So I'm here, and I get the basketball, and I just get down, and we start playing basketball. Well, the really mean old people across the street, who obviously will go unnamed, they end up calling the cops on us, right? And we don't realize this. We're playing basketball at the time, and all of a sudden you hear, and we're wondering what's going on. And, an officer gets out, he's like, were you guys on that rooftop? And I'm like, yeah, I was. We were grabbing a basketball, right? And, the officer, he must have been cranky or something, because he was in a bad mood. He's like, yeah, grabbing a basketball. So, we're like, okay, this is bad, right? So, the officer decides to go on the picnic table and go up there for himself, right? And I'm like, yeah, officer, it's we're just on that first square, so if you find anything else, it wasn't us. Well, he, being an idiot, I just realized how suspicious that sounded. So, of course, the officer goes to the other squares, right? So he's here, and he goes here first, he climbs over, he's here, he climbs over, he's here, and then he goes to the fourth square, right? And so he climbs onto this fourth square, and no, I'm not in Colorado at the time, because what he finds is a big bag of weed, right? And so me and my friend are looking at each other like, wow, there's some weed up there. This does not look good on our parts, right? And so he comes down with the weed, right? He's like, do you guys know anything about this? And, of course we're like, no, what the hell? That's not our drugs, bro. That's whoever else climbs rooftops. He's like, well, we have witnesses saying no one could really get up that rooftop, so you guys pull the table over. And, at this point, we look like the most suspicious people ever. You might as well put a target on our chest and, have the gun taser us right on the bullseye because, we're pretty much screwed at this point. Well, of course, I'm like, alright, well, this isn't our drugs, so what am I going to say? We have a basketball here, and, we're not high. And so, the officer's like, it doesn't matter if you're high or not. There are drugs on this rooftop, right? And so, we're talking for a while. Well, to my luck, what ends up happening is this guy, and this is in a neighborhood, so I don't know why, but this kid basically comes flying down the street, totally speeding. I think he was going 90 down street with a bunch of houses, you know, an average neighborhood. And, you know, he's honking his horn and just being an idiot. And the cop looks back at him and he's like, "What the hell is that?" And I'm like, "I don't know, you should go get him though." You know, and I'm sitting here. My friend isn't talking through all of this. He's just like, yeah, it's cool. And so I'm like, "No, you should go and get it, right?" And my friend's like, "Yeah, you should go get it." The officer's like, "Well, what do I do about you guys?" And I'm like, "I don't know, we'll just bring back the table, right?" And so the officer's like, "Yeah, you're going to bring back the table, and if I come back here and you kids are still here, I'm going to arrest both of you." And I'm like, right now I'm older than I was then, but let's just say I was about 14 then, right? So, you know, I'm like, whatever. So me and my friend bring back the table, the cop takes off, right? Well, as I'm walking home, so the park's here and my house is here, right? You can't really tell that distance, obviously, it's my hands. But, you know, I'm walking down the street, right? Well, the cop comes down the same street and he looks at me and he has the bag in his hand. And he looks at me and he's just like... And he drives right on by. And so for the rest of that week, the cop kept showing up to the park and they never found who it was. So he always probably thought it was us. But, yeah, that's what happened. It was kind of a stupid scenario. It was one of the more embarrassing times ever. Actually, you know what? Let's call this video the most embarrassing times of Fort Dawson, because that was pretty bad. Especially when no one found out about it. But anyways, now everyone knows, so yay. My second story today I have written down. I think it was. Yeah, I know, right? Let's see. Yeah, I know. I actually planned stuff. Who would have thought? Okay, there's what do you have to most awkward moment here. Okay, I found it. I know what it is. So my second story is kind of a family tale at this point, but it's this is I don't know if it's embarrassing as much as it's just really funny. But what it was is, now I'm in this house, right? And I'm with this stuff. I still live with my mom and my dad and my sister, so, you know, we just kind of hang out. But the difference is, at my old house, when we lived there, this was a few years ago. I must have been, you know, before I was 14. So, you know, because that whole story happened after this. But, whatever happened, so this was a long time ago, right? And I'm in the hallway of my house. And you don't really need to know about the rest of the house, but the one thing you do need to know is there's this small hallway, and it was like if they had floor plans, here's the house, you know, this big, it's like this big. It's not big at all. And my room's on the end, my sister's room's here, and, wait, no, my room's here, my sister's room is here, and the bathroom's here, right? And so at the time, Twilight had just came out, right? So, you know, you can guess the year by that, but, Twilight had came out, and all the little fangirls were freaking out, right? You know, they're all like, "Oh my god, Twilight! Oh!" And, you know, I despise it like every other guy of this generation. And so my sister is one of the people who ended up liking Twilight quite a bit. Well, the first thing I remember about her room, because of the story, is she had a big picture of Jacob, right? It was a average poster, you know, so big, whatever. I keep doing hand gestures, but I can't really show you how big it was. But, you know, it was a big poster. It was a nice size. And she has this poster in her room. Well, on that day, I was mad for some reason. I don't know why. I was in my, I'll say 10. I was in my 10-year-old rage, you know, just freaking out. And, you know, I end up, throwing something in my living room. Well, my parents are like, "Okay, that was bad, go to your room," right? So I end up walking into my room. So I'm walking through the hallway, I walk into my room, and I'm sitting there in the room, right? And I'm mad, and then my mom comes in, and she's like, "Okay, you're grounded for a week," right? And, you know, at 10, that's basically someone telling you, "You know what, you're going to hell." So, you know, I'm freaking out. And my mom leaves, letting me just be in my 10-year-old rage. And I'm mad. I'm in that 10-year-old rage. I'm just punching stuff. I'm just punching everything, right? And so I'm punching things, And I get this dumb idea. I end up punching the wall, right? I'm like, doom, 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 just knocking the wall, right? Bam, bam, bam. At this point, there's like a crack in the wall. Well, I punch really hard, and my hand goes through the wall, so it's like, right? Well, the thing about this is I punched my sister through the wall, right? And so she's freaking out. She's crying over on her side of the wall, and my 10-year-old rage pretty much abruptly stopped because I'm sitting here thinking about how cool it was that I punched through a wall. Well, my mom comes up and she's like, "What happened?" Right? And so I had to explain to my mom how I'd punched through the wall. Well, you know, my mom's like, "Well, you're grounded longer now, and you gotta go apologize to your sister." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll apologize to Mari. That's fine. You know, Queen of Embers. I'll apologize." Of course, she wasn't Queen of Embers at the time, but I'm kind of sad. So I walk over, and I'm going through the room, and I come in. And there she is on the ground, you know, her cheeks red. She's like, "Wow, wow, my face!" You know, just freaking out. She's not that much younger. If I'm 10, she's about 8 at the time. But she's all sad. But the funny thing about the story that makes it really embarrassing for both her and I is, yeah, I'd punch through the wall and that's cool. We look at where I'm punching, right? And she has a big red mark. It's, like I said, it was on her cheek, but it's more just on her face, right? It's like by her nose and chin and just red right here. Well, if you look at where like the hole was in the wall, right? It's on this Jacob poster, right? And this Jacob poster is at eye level for, you know, me or my sister. We're roughly the same height. She's got like a weird thing where she grows really fast and I stay medium. But it's at our eye level. And the thing about where the hole is it's right in his mouth, right? And so, basically what we didn't know is my sister at the time had been making out with this Jacob poster, right? She'd, like, walk up to her wall and she'd be like, "Oh, Jacob," and then kiss it, you know, being a dumb little girl. And I had punched her through the wall right in the face. And so, ever since then, I've always given her crap. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of laughing, trying not to, like, freak out, but, it's one of my favorite stories. And so ever since then, it's just been really funny to go back on this story and tell people, and I thought you guys would appreciate it. So, yeah, I mean, those are embarrassing moments of Forged Awesome. I know it's a bit of a weird vlog from Monday, and yeah, story time, it was fun. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. Blah, 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 blah. I'm Kermit the Frog. Frob. I'm Kermit the Frob. Yeah, whatever a frob is. Yeah, so I hope you guys are having a good day for your Monday. I hope you guys appreciated this video. One last thing I want to point out, the t-shirts are still at $25, but they are getting even cooler, and I really appreciate you guys actually showing interest in them. Buy a t-shirt. Please do it. Please do it. You know, just, that'd be cool. $25 a t-shirt.